Hello, hello everyone. Uh, Thank you for tonight. Thank you for making time para maka-listen sa talk ko. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Sainil Jedlakap. I am an AI engineer at Generative Labs. And welcome to my talk about revealing the black box, a technical introduction to explainable AI, its algorithms, and breakthroughs in research. So, let's get started. So let's start off with some examples. So, alam nyo guys, healthcare professionals now, they leverage AI na, especially in other countries, for classification like X-ray images like COVID-19, breast cancer, and pneumonia. Usually, yung ginagamit na ng deep learning model ay CNN, which is the usual model for classification. So, makikita nyo yung sa images, merong input, may convolution, pooling, and all that process. Tapos, i-classify niya kung yung lungs ba niyan ay may COVID, or normal lungs ba siya, meron bang COVID, pneumonia, so on and so forth. So let me, next. While it makes image analysis easier, it still needs transparency on how the AI arrives to the conclusion that the images show. So kahit mas madali sa mga healthcare workers na alamin kung yung X-ray ba merong COVID-19 o wala. Uh, kailangan pa rin ng transparency kung paano na compute ng AI yung ganyang kung paano pumunta yung AI na yun sa ganyang conclusion na meron ngang COVID yung lungs niya. Uh, Personally, meron akong winwork na client ngayon, merong gusto niya mag-build ng AI but gonna take a long time because maraming doctors ang kailangan ng verification. So, yeah, health is very sensitive sa mga AI. So, ito nag-i-introduce tayo ng tinatawag na black box problem. Ito yung problem where merong lack of transparency sa mga deep AI, especially deep learning models such as CNN. So, nagkakaproblema and ang problema to kasi hindi nila pagkakatiwalaan ng AI even though it's making their jobs a lot easier. Still the trust factor among these professionals is pa rin, it's crucial. So there has to be a way where the the healthcare workers somehow need to understand what's going on behind the AI or the process of AI. So here goes explainable AI, or let's call it XAI for this presentation. This is where GradCam, an XAI algorithm, helps with transparency. It highlights the most important features that contributed to the decision of the AI model. So nakikita nyo guys, ito yung output. At sasabihin ng AI, itong particular lungs na to, meron siyang pneumonia or COVID-19. At yung GradCam, isa siyang algorithm, i-highlight niya kung bakit yun yung kinalasify ng AI natin. Yung mga highlighted na parts sa X-ray, yun yung yun yung yun yung ina-explain or ginagawa ng GradCam para sabihin sa healthcare professional na ito yung part ng nakita ng AI kung bakit sinabi niya na merong COVID-19 or merong lung cancer. Ganun yung second na picture, merong output na this is some type of lung disease. And then yung algorithm niya, it helps to identify what are the most important features, the most important factors that led to the conclusion that there is a lung disease on the patient. So ito naman, research din to, breast cancer. It's also GradCam. Ayan. So merong predicted as malignant at yung naka-highlight na naka-highlight sa chest, yun yung dahilan kung bakit yun yung prediction niya. And the same goes as to many, many images. So, next. So, ito na naman ang introduction to explainable AI. So, compared sa first image, mayroon mga katanungan na, paano nangyari to? Why not something else? But ganyan yung decision ng AI? Bakit ganyan yung conclusion niya? And compared sa second image where maintindihan na ng user na, okay, kaya pala ganyan yung diagnosis ng AI. Kaya pala ganyan yung sinabi niya or kino-conclude niya. Kasi ganito, merong highlight. Ito pala yung mga factors. Yan. So explainable AI is a set of techniques that make the predictions of an AI model more transparent. So when people think of explainable AI, they thought it's an AI model that explains itself. It's not. It's a series of not series. It's a set of algorithms that makes the predictions of an AI more transparent pa. So ito, meron ding image. Ito yung SHAP algorithm. We will introduce that later. Simple lang naman yung goals ng explainable AI. First is transparency, interpretability. Second, system improvement. And third, and the most important one is trust and confidence. These three are interconnected. So, napaka-important nilang tatlo. These are the main goals of explainable AI. Sa explainable AI, meron tayong dalawang klaseng explanation. No? The first is the post-hoc explanation, and the second is the anti-hoc explanation. I'll explain the anti-hoc first. So, anti-hoc methods are sometimes called intrinsic explainability, transparent or glass box model. Yun yung mga machine learning models na madali lang intindihin. Kunyari, ito, may example ata ako dito. Ayan. So, meron na bang nakakalikot ng collab notebook dito? Have you guys coded, I wanna ask the audience. Have you guys coded any machine learning model sa Google Colab? Have you tried it before? Alright. Gumamit na ba kayo ng decision tree, linear logistic regression? Have you tried it before? Oh, yes. Okay. So, when you 'di ba pag tinrain natin yung model tapos ginamit natin, meron siyang maglalabas siya ng output tulad nito, decision tree. So, pag sinabing anti-hoc, meaning nun, yung model mismo malinaw kung paano niya na-compute yung prediction niya. Kunyari, decision tree, meron siyang mga factors, yung pinaka-root node, age, tapos, kunyari, yung input natin ay yung age ay less than 18, let's say 16 years old. Titignan naman niya yung weight, tapos kung yung weight naman ay less than 60, nasasabihin natin, low risk to sa heart attack. 'Di ba? So, it's so clear. Ganun din sa logistic at linear regression. So, yun yung so yun yung ibig sabihin ng anti-hoc explanations. The model itself explains itself. Right? Now, let's move forward to post-hoc explainability. So, post-hoc explainability methods analyze and interpret the decision-making process of a trained machine learning model after it has made predictions. Dito naman, ito yung kinakalikot naman niya yung mahirap na intindihin na models like random forest. So, yung random forest ay it's a series of decision trees, 'di ba? Parang forest lang, puro puno. At mahirap siyang ibasa on its own. So, ang kailangan is i-apply natin ang post-hoc explanations. At ito na yung dito na darating yung mga algorithms na ginagamit sa explainable AI. Dahil sobrang complex ng model, mahirap siyang intindihin just by looking at it. So, ang gagawin natin ngayon, It has made a prediction, after the output, only then we will analyze ano yung mga features na ginamit ng AI para gawa ng prediction. So let's talk about surrogate model. So surrogate model in engineering kasi ginagamit siya kapag yung outcome ng interest ay hindi ma-measure or computed. So ang ginagawa ng mga engineers, gumagamit sila ng approximate mathematical model ng outcome. So kumbaga, sobrang laki at sobrang hirap intindihin ng isang bagay. Ang gagawin na lang is tingnan natin yung small instance ng malaking bagay na yon, so that we can get a better picture on what's going on. Ganun yung surrogate model. Surrogate model in explainable AI is used to approximate the behavior of a black box model. Kumbaga yung black box model, which is yung deep learning model natin, sobrang hirap ng intindihin yung inner process niya. Lalo na, kunyari, random forest, sobrang laki niya. So, ang ginagawa ng isang surrogate model, siya yung magiging replacement or siya yung nag-approximate kung paano nagbe-behave yung malaking black box model na yun. At magiging important siya later on, which makikita nyo mamaya. So, ito naman yung mga algorithms. First off, LIME. So, ito yung algorithm na ginamit namin sa thesis namin. Ginawa siya ni Rivero. Basically, meron tayong model, tapos meron data, at meron tayong prediction. So, ito yung input. Kunyari, yung sneeze ko ay malala, yung weight ko ganito, meron akong headache. Tapos yung prediction ng model ay, okay, baka may flu ka. Yung symptoms mo ay flu. Tapos, yung Lyme, ang gagawin niya, titignan niya yung pinaka-important features ng input mo. Tapos, i-highlight niya yan para yung human, maintindihan niya ano ba yung mga features na hinighlight. Pa-invite sa stage. Ate Kat, si Sir Alan, need po ata ng assistance. Okay, anyways. Okay, tinignan ko yung Discord kasi puro Discord messages eh. Baka mamaya di ako rinig. So, ganun na rin. So, explainable AI, ayan, ina-highlight nila ano yung pinaka-important factor sa input mo. Tapos, makikita ng professional yan, for example, healthcare professional, na, okay, ito yung in-input ko. Tapos, si Lyme, ito yung features na hinighlight niya, of which, yung pala yung important stuff sa input ko. Kaya ganun yung output niya. Okay, so, paano ba nag-work ang Lyme? Well, gamit tayo ng textual data. So, first off, meron tayong input na this movie does not live up to the expectations. Let's say nag-train tayo ng random forest. And ang task niya is to classify sentiment. Basically, sentiment analysis task. So, ang basic input-output lang yun is meron tayong text, sentence, can be positive, can be negative. I-enter natin siya sa random forest. Then, yung random forest, gagawa siya ng prediction. And then, yung output niya is either positive comment or negative comment. Ganun. Ngayon, di natin alam. To explain bakit ganun yung output ng AI. Ang gagawin nila is, gagawa siya ng maraming variant, maraming variations ng input natin. So, imbes na this movie does not live up to the expectations, imamask niya yung mga words. Tapos, ilalagay niya yun sa same model. Tapos, tingnan niya ano yung magiging output ng bagong output. Right? So, for example, ito, from our original output, kinanggal niya yung word na movie. Tapos pinapredict niya sa black box natin. So, yung output niyan ay negative. So, negative pa rin. So this movie does blank live up to the expectations. Nilagay niya ulit sa black box model at makikita natin na ngayon positive na. So it's the opposite of our original output. So ganyan. Ang next naman ay so ito na yung local yung surrogate model. Ngayon, gumawa si Lime ng maliit na dataset. Ito yung input na ito yung variant na tinanggal natin yung movie. Tapos ito yung counterpart, ito yung pair niya, output pair which is negative. So they're in a tiny dataset. And then itatrain natin yung surrogate model natin. Yung surrogate model natin sa Lime, nakadepende sa pagpipilian mo yan. But usually it's logistic regression or lasso or linear regression. So, i-feed natin to sa sa surrogate model para i-approximate yung behavior ng isang black box model. Ngayon, after nun, magproduce siya ng mga scores or output. Siya, from 0 to 1. The bigger the number, the better. Kapag malaki yung number ng, kunyari ito, 0.89 yung score ng nut, ibig sabihin nun, na kapag tinanggal natin yung word ng nut, ibig sabihin, significant yung difference between the original output to the what should be a new output if we remove the word nut. So, sa movie at sa DAS, yung mga mga small scores naman, sila yung di naman masyadong malaki yung ambag nila sa paggawa ng prediction ng AI. So next. So yan, that's how it works actually. Merong highlighting text, meron ring bar graph. So tingnan niyo to. So update, went back last night for dinner. This place is still awesome. So this is a positive text. At hina-highlight niya yung mga important words kung bakit yung AI output ay positive. So, nakikita nyo yung nasa green ba yan? Yung nasa kanan, nakikita nyo mataas yung score ni awesome. So, pag tinanggal natin yung awesome, probably iiba yung prediction ng AI model natin significantly. Yung mga blue naman, ito yung mga words na pinupull away nila yung AI from the prediction na ginagawa niya. So that's Lime. Ayun naman yung kanina, yung GradCam. Actually, siya, it's a bit complicated to explain kasi siya, it's a neural network. But basically, in a nutshell, GradCam is a visual explanation method for CNNs that shows which part of the image influenced the model's decision. Example siya ng saliency maps. So, yung ganyang example ng pag-highlight sa images, example siya ng ng saliency map. So, explainable AI technique siya where meron siyang forward pass sa CNN niya. Tapos meron siyang backward pass. And kino-compute niya within the architecture yung mga important weights. And then it computes with using ReLU, and then there you go, there's the GradCam heat map. Mayroong research paper dito. I think the paper does a great job of explaining it even more. So next, ito, ProtoPNet. So, ito naman, ProtoPNet is a post-hoc trainable deep learning model that mimics how humans reason by example. So, siya, CNN din siya where tinitingnan niya yung isang image, tapos ina-identify niya yung mga parts ng image, tapos iisipin niya, tapos i-compare niya sa sarili niyang data kung ano yung kamukha niya. For example, ito. So, meron tayong robot. I think it's bird. So, meron tayong bird. And then, ang gagawin niya, titingnan niya isa-isa yung yung mga parte ng bird. So kunyari ito sa unang picture, naka-highlight yung yellow box sa ulo niya. Tapos iisipin niya, itong ulo ng animal na to, it kind of looks like a bird because meron siyang beak. Based on my knowledge, which is this image, based on my previous knowledge, this bird, this feature looks like a bird. That's the head niya. And then it will follow with this, which is, yung katawan niya, it also looks like a bird. Yung wings niya, meron siyang feather. It all resembles a bird. And then, i-highlight niya yung, yung importance na yun. Para masabi na, so yeah, this image right here, that's definitely a bird. Okay, next. So that's how Protopy, ito rin, Protopy works. Meron tayong convolutional layers, hati-hatiin niya, do some similarity score. So yung similarity score is, ito yung sample data ng Protopy.net. Ito yung, ito yung chunk na kinuha na yung Protopy sa original input. Tapos hingin niyo yung similarity score. And then yun yung mga highlights and modules. Okay, next. Okay, here are more examples. So, meron tayong bird dito. Tapos, merong prototype which comes from the knowledge of the AI. Tapos, highlight niyo yung just like same example. Ganun din. So, meron tayong shop ngayon. So, Shop and Lime are actually very similar to each other. Kasi parehas sila nag-highlight ng ng mga feature importance. Meron din sila mga ganyang scores na 0.9, 0.8. They are very similar to each other. But Shop, it uses the game theory. It uses the concept of cooperative game theory para i-distribute niya yung ambag ng mga features from the input. So ayan. Si Matpat. So, what do I mean by Shapley value? So, yun yung Shapley value pala, by the way, yun yung sinasabi kong score para ilalagay niya sa mga feature input, sa features from the input. Para ma-tell kung ano ba yung mga features na naging important sa decision making. Now, what do I mean by Shap values? Okay, let's say si Torre, si Baste, at si Recto, at si Trillanes, meron silang pizza party. At naisip nila, gawa nga tayong pizza. Let's bake our own pizza. So, si Torre, meron siyang dough. Dough yan, di ba? Yeah, dough. Si Baste, nagdala ng cheese. Si Recto, nagdala ng sausawan, yung tomato sauce. Si Trillanes, merong mushroom. Ngayon, titingnan natin, tingnan natin yung order of, sino ba yung pinakamalaking, may pinakamalaking ambag or contribution sa paggawa ng pizza. Kasi minsan, yung dough at yung cheese, enough na yun para may pizza na tayo. Or, meron na tayong dough, meron tayong tomato sauce na dala ni Recto. That alone is enough. The rest is insignificant. Or not significant, but rather maliit lang yung ambag nila. So ngayon, tingnan natin, kung uunahin ba natin si Torre, magiging malaki ba yung prediction ng AI? Magiging malaki, significant ba yung contribution niya? Mabubuo ba agad yung ating pizza? So, order 1, sige, si Tori muna, gawa siya ng dough. Followed by Baste, lalagyan niya ng cheese, tas si Recto, lalagyan niya ng tomato sauce, tas toppings naman si Trillanes. Or, tingnan natin, kung ibahin ba natin yung order, tingnan natin kung gaano kalaki yung factor ng dala nila, yung mga ambag nila. So, si Baste, for example, nagdala ng cheese. Okay, meron siyang cheese, but it's still not a pizza. Si Recto, meron siyang tomato sauce, pero wala pa rin na-mimic kasi cheese and tomato sauce is nothing. But with the dough, now we're talking. Now we have a now we have a bread, and then we can combine yung ano ni Basti at ni Recto sa ambag ni ano Torre, di ba? So that's how shop basically, that's how shop works. So think of them as input, yung input mo, or rather the features of your input. And then kinakalculate niya alin ba dito yung pinakamalaking ambag sa kanilang lahat. Like kung kunyari ba kung itong feature na to ay ilalagay natin sa order na ito, magiging malaki ba yung, magiging significant ba yung prediction ng AI natin?
Ako ko-connect sa'yo.
So, gano'n. So, ayan. The pizza is the model's prediction. The friends, although they're not friends at all, are the input features. It can be income, text, tokens, pixels, and general. It computes the average contribution of each features to the model's prediction across all combinations. So, yung combinations wise, yung yung order 1, order 2, yan, just like figuring out who helped the most when making a pizza. Ayan. So, that's what Shapley looks like. Ginamitan ng random forest prediction right here. It's the number of bikes in a day. So sobrang similar nila with Lime. Sila yung dalawa silang intertwined. Now you may ask, okay, meron tayong explanation, meron tayong algorithm. But how do we measure the accuracy of a XAI algorithm? Well, walang centralized measurement talaga. Iba-iba eh. Una, meron tayong fidelity. It explains how accurately an explanation reproduces the model's predictions. Consistency, meron tayong complexity, which is yung interpretability din. Alignment or completeness, and human trust. But let's focus on fidelity.
Nagawa ka na, be?
Kasi yun yung, sa lahat, karamihan sa XAI research na binasa ko, fidelity talaga yung pinaka-ginagamit nila. Although it still varies pa rin. So fidelity, or sometimes called faithfulness, it measures how accurately an explanation captures a model's true decision process. In practice, fidelity is quantified by how well a surrogate model, which is yung sinabi ko kanina, or modified input reproduces the original model's output. Marami siyang variations ng fidelity. Meron tayong score and decision fidelity, meron tayong R fidelity. Again, it really depends on the type of paper that you're reading. And accuracy kasi, it enhances trust. Trust kasi isa sa pinaka-important goal ng XAI, which is I mentioned earlier. So, what is trust ba in XAI? Mahirap kasi, no? Kasi it's an emotion. It's not linear. Broadly speaking, trust is a person's willingness to be vulnerable for other people's actions. But in the context of XAI, trust means a user is willing to rely on the system's output. XAI research often do trust calibration. So, yung trust calibration, ginagawa nila yun para yung trust ng users ay yung sakto lang. Hindi sila over-trust sa system to the point na it can't make any errors. And at the same time, hindi nila under-trust yung AI. Which means na ina-assume nila na laging mali yung AI, na pangit yung performance niya. So sa XAI research, especially yung ginawa namin sa thesis namin, we made sure na yung mga users ay sakto lang yung trust nila at realistic yung expectations nila sa system namin. Okay. So maraming measurement ang trust sa XAI. It's not, wala siyang isang method. Iba-iba rin siya. Sa qualitative method, meron tayong questionnaires, which is the easy one. Merong observed trust, behavioral trust. Merong accuracy trust, merong trade-offs.
Kanino napunta?
Pag quantitative naman, merong mga interviews, merong think aloud protocol, and meron ring meron yung questionnaires, pero open yung comments. Yun yung mga, I think yun yung mga Likert scale,
Sino
diba?
nag-gigit sa akin?
So, putting it
Ba't
all
ginigit
together,
ulit
what we
sa
learned
akin?
so far, we know about deep
Correct
learning models.
request.
Kanina sa AI in healthcare, that's a example of a deep learning model, right? Meron na tayong XAI algorithm. Alam na natin yung mga algorithms na ginagamit.
1.5
Meron
kilo.
tayong accuracy
Nasaan ka
measurement
nakit?
kung paano kung paano
Isa na lang.
minimeasure yung
Isa
accuracy
lang
ng
yung gamitin
algorithm.
mo ah.
At meron din tayong trust measurement. And what do we get? We get a
Yung isa,
potential
pang-angas
research
lang.
paper about explainable AI.
Ano yung
And there are numerous examples of that. First, a clinical decision support. So sa breast cancer diagnosis, ginamit na nila yung XAI, di ba? And meron ding mga results about self-reported trust. There are studies where mababa, there are studies where significantly high. Sa financial forecasting in peer-to-peer lending simulations, meron din sa mga finance, important din yan. Sa mga recommender systems, sa mga, sa e-commerce, so on and so forth. There are a lot of research in XAI, and it's really good if pwede kayong mag-search din. It's really a lot that it's gotta be around 2 hours for me to uncover the best research in XAI. And here are some recent breakthroughs, no? So recently, meron ng bagong precise benchmarking ng XAI attribution methods. Like I said earlier, walang standardized measurement, not standardized, pero wala yung talagang iisang measurement ng measure ng accuracy ng algorithm. So yung mga researchers na to, gumawa sila ng bagong XAI measurement, accuracy measure. Mayroong ring interpretable by design models. So gumawa sila ng bagong models where mas interpretable by designs. Tapos yung black box na, tapos gumagamit silang black box model. Meron ring XAI transformers. Now this is the most difficult one. At ito rin yung thesis namin. So we use this framework, this paper, as a basis of our thesis. Ginawa namin, in-apply namin yung line kanina, yung in-explain ko kanina na algorithm. Tinry namin i-apply sa isang transformer. And ganito rin yung results niya. So what you're seeing here is it uses an explainable AI algorithm where ina-highlight niya yung important features ng input. And in this case, it's a transformer that summarizes the text. Ina-highlight niya ano yung mga ginamit niyang words para maging ganito na lang yung text. Mas naiksi. So may breakthrough na rin dyan sa XAI transformers. Now I want to show you the code I made. It's Lime. I don't have any text yet. I-share ko to sa group eventually. Pero ito, nag-train ako ng decision tree. Ito. So, yung dataset na ginamit ko is toxic comments dataset. Puro siya, Twitter. Mga toxic tweets. At ayan, nag-code ako dito ng konti. Tapos gumamit ako ng random forest. Ito, zoom in ko lang. Gumamit ako ng random forest. Ayan. So, mineasure yung accuracy niya. So, it's 0.92% accurate.
May nag-aangas din Ball Blossom, oh.
At pinalagin ko yung Lime. So, ito yung Lime. Lime has a Python library on its own. So, ang ginawa ko, I picked one instance from the dataset, and I tried to explain. It tries to explain how the AI came up with that conclusion. So, nakita nyo to. So, I picked this instance, which is 24, and I took the text instance and the true label, which is yung AI output. And then within this explanation variable, dito ginawa ni Line yung magic niya. Ito yung results. So yung text ay eto, mahaba siya, isang sentence. Pero tingnan nyo kung gaano ka yung color niya malalim sa word na to. And yung output ni AI is toxic. At ito yung pinakamalaking score. Kasi, I mean, it's a swear word, so it's automatically a toxic word. Dito naman, gradcam, ito rin. So, kumuha ko ng image ng isang rabbit, and then, ayan, pixel, its resiliency map. And then, ito yung visualization. So, okay. Okay. So yung colored highlights. Ito yung tinuunan ng AI ng pansin kung bakit yung output niya ay isang rabbit. So the image is a rabbit because of these features right here. So that's GradCam, and it's much more useful in X-rays kasi hindi masyado kita yung color pag colored yung image. So yeah, those are just the notebooks that I made to show you guys that applicable naman yung explainable AI. So back to the slides. Yeah, that's it. See? I told you guys, it's just short. Here's my LinkedIn. It's Sinojed Backup right here. Pwede nyo i-search. And hopefully we can connect and follow each other. And I hope someday, sumali rin kayo sa mga Google events, ganon, para mag-meet tayo. So, ayun lang for tonight. I'm open for Q&A.
Yan, thank you guys. Thank you, Sai. Oh, guys, yung may questions ha, raise your hand lang and then I'll lift you on stage. Si Sir Alan, outside kasi siya, so hindi kaya yata nung niya, hindi siya makapasok.
Meron. May link. I'll send it to you.
Share mo rin ba yung slides mo, Sai?
Yes, I will. I will upload. I will share the slides.
Meron bang gustong umakyat sa stage? And then guys, yung mga naghahanap ng connections sa LinkedIn, meron tayong dito sa Discord natin, meron dyan LinkedIn links ng mga members. Teka, double check ko, share ko yung link.
Share ko yung slides. Naglolo ko lang yung browser ko. Wow, Zydoc, you're gonna use that for your thesis, yung explainable AI. Final person niya si AI LM engineer. Wow. Ayan na, accessible ba yung slides? Diyan yung mga reference pala. Nakalimutan kong i-present. Pwede ito maging thesis nyo. Actually, kung babalik ako sa, pagiging third year, gagawin kong thesis yung pag-scan ng X-ray. I think you guys can do that. kapag naghahanap kayo ng thesis ideas. What are the immediate actionable steps to transition this AI solution from its current state into a tangible, deployable product within the healthcare ecosystem? Uh, what are the immediate actionable steps to transition this AI? So paano ba natin malalagay ito sa sa healthcare? Ano, pwede nating pwede natin incorporate yung mga yung ginagamit ng mga healthcare workers ngayon na pag-analyze ng images sa AI. Like, kunyari, magka-classify ng X-ray scans. Ang pwedeng gawin is, thesis, actually thesis for me. End product. You mean like a software ba? Parang application? Oh. Mm, pwede naman. Pwede siyang gawing business din kung gusto niya. Like, gawa ka ng, kunyari, naisip ko ngayon, mag-train ka ng isang model ng, mag-train ka ng isang model na puro, puro X-ray dataset, tapos, gawa mo ng application, ganun. Tapos, i-integrate mo yung explainable AI sa software na yun. You can make it a business application. Pwedeng pwedeng mong pagkakakitaan. You can sell it to the doctors. But also, you have to prove na na validated siya ng doctor. Kaya iniisip ko, it has to be, rather than an application for making money, it has to be a thesis that is proven to be, that is validated by professionals. I don't know, I'm more of a guy that wants software to be free. Especially that, na ilalagay natin yung XAI sa healthcare. Gusto ko yung yung open source, tapos lahat mag-aambag.
Ako sa tanong ko.
Does that, yes.
Ayun. Yung, di ba yung collab mo? Ano yun? Yung free lang or nag-subscribe ka sa yung free tier?
Free tier po yun. Free tier lang.
Okay. Para yung ibang gustong mag-try, no?
Opo. Ano siya mahal po kasi wala pa sa budget yung Collab Pro at saka di ko masyadong ginagamit. Pero yun siguro ang indication to the user that the out of depth. Like, oo. But, yeah, I mean, yeah. Pero talaga, iniisip ko na dapat, siya swipe the outcomes kind of it. Oh, yeah. Oh, like for example, merong X-ray, tas may output yung AI. Tapos, pag may explanation yung AI na yun, mas malinaw sa healthcare worker na, okay, ito pala yun. Bakit? Ito yung dahilan, bakit? Ganun. Si Sir Alan po naka-raise yung hand niya. I think gusto po niyang umakyat sa stage.
Actually, kanina ko pa siya ini-invite. Hindi siya makaakyat.
Bakit po?
Hindi ko alam. Invited ko naman siya ito. Try ko ulit. Invite to speak.
Oh, yeah, validation ng doctor. Yes.
Ini-invite ko na siya.
Di lang sa healthcare, pwede rin sa finance Pero hindi ako masyadong knowledgeable sa finance. Tapos AI. Healthcare lang. May tanong pa kayo, guys? I think we have 15 minutes.
O yung gustong
Go, Mike.
magpakilala, kung wala na kayong tanong, pwede kayo umakyat sa stage and introduce yourself.
Wait. Hello, Sir Sai. Can you please tell us how did you come up with your thing? Ah, honestly, I just, brainstorm using AI. Sinabi ko kay ChatGPT, meron bang area ngayon sa tech na masyado pang, masyado pang kulang? Meron pang, like, hindi pa siya masyadong explored pa. Tapos binigay niya sa akin, explainable AI. Kasi, tapos sinabi niya na, okay, Sai, ito yung, actually, ito yung area sa AI ngayon na hindi masyadong ine-explore. And nobody knows that much yet kasi, ayun. So, yun yung, kung paano ko naisip yung thesis namin. Tapos, since,
Hello!
Ayun.
hi, sir.
Kakauwi ko lang kasi nasa labas ako. Sorry. Ayan na. Nasa stage
Hello.
na. Napaka-interesting ng topic natin, Sai. About
Opo.
explainable AI. Napaka-importante niyan. Oo, kasi alam nyo, yung mga newer and newer models like becomes more and more difficult to understand. As they become more intelligent, parang hindi natin maintindihan paano siya nag-iisip. So, exactly yung topic. I think it's, very important na may research tayong ginagawa dyan. May mga question yata kanina, no? Ano kasi, nagsisimba kasi kami pag Sunday. Pauwi pala ako ng mga ganitong oras.
So po kayo
Ano ba
galing?
yung mga question natin, Sai? Meron bang, well, dito, sa estansya kami nag-church, tapos malapit lang dito sa bahay. Tapos dinner, kaya medyo
Peace, warm
alanganin.
blood. Kasalo ba sa explainable AI?
Ay,
Hindi ko
oo.
pa alam
Kanina
yung
may tanong about, kanina may tanong about the healthcare, yung saan daw nagagamit, yung grad. Actually, nasa production na yan. If you go to, some of the more advanced hospitals, yung mga cancer scanning nila, umiilaw-ilaw na yun eh. So, I've seen some of the actual systems. Paglabas ng X-ray, nakabilog na dun yung mga yung mga potential cancer cells. So ginagamit na yan ngayon. Although syempre after you get those, it's still for verification ng mga radiologists to verify kung tama yung reading, but heavily being used na yung mga ganyan with the newer equipment at least.
Yeah, sa healthcare.
Yeah. Sige.
Grabe, ang
ano ba
dami
yung mga
natin, Gulat ako, ang dami.
ang ganda ng topic. And you explained it very well, Sai.
Yeah, thank you. There are more to come pa.
More to come pa. Yun, no?
I wish I can show my thesis results, yung software.
Bakit? Hindi pa kayo pasado? Yung pumapakita? Tapos na
Yung
ba? Pasado na?
Ipipirma na lang po ng thesis panels, and okay na.
Ayun, no?
May tanong pa kayo? Oh, congrats. Thank you. Nakita mo na ba yung LinkedIn ko? Nakita niya ba yung LinkedIn ko? Pwede kayong mag-connect sa akin. And then, ask kayo ng questions about the thesis. No? Wait, may nakita ako eh. Ito. Sobrang sakto pati examples. We're creating a recommendation system for class suspension. Tapos ang sa list din namin is decision tree. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. Although you can use random forest para magamit mo yung XAI. Kasi nasabi ko earlier na decision tree is part of the anti-hoc explanation in which yung model itself, malinaw na kung paano yung isang AI model, yung decision niya. Thank you. Thank you, so congratulations. Thank you.
Ito, si Psyduck, no? Siya ba yun? Yung class suspension. Gusto niya dalhin sa stage. Explain niya yung
Sino, sir?
plano nilang gawin.
Si Stoic? Up ko? Up
May
ko si
questions
Stoic.
pa. Have you applied this approach for explaining projects to user-friendly? I haven't. Although may client ako ngayon na doctor. Pinapagawa niya ako ng model na gusto niya ng AI, gusto niya yung AI, nagde-detect ng, yung ventricular muscle. Tapos, image analysis siya eh. Sinuggest ko sa kanya, sir, kung matagal pa, kung 6 months naman yung development, maybe may open yung room to applying explainable AI. Tapos, in-explain ko sa kanya, explainable AI. So far, wala pa, but, pa?
So, may projects ka na, di ka pa-graduate, rumaraket ka na.
Sir, syempre, extra money.
Good job.
May internship na rin po ako.
Oh, okay. AI din?
Extra money talaga. Po?
AI din.
Oh, AI. AI engineer.
Okay. It's good.
Ay, thank you. You're welcome. Si Jun Miano. Hello. May tanong ka, Jun Miano?
Yes, hello. I wonder dun sa healthcare na part. Di ba meron ng parang AI for parang healthcare like yung sa Gemma wherein i-upload mo lang, let's say mag-upload ka lang ng yung sa x-ray na na image, tapos siya na mismo yung magbabasa nun. At saka pwede mo ring i-upload yung, let's say, yung resulta ng lab. Tapos siya na yung magbibigay ng parang tawag dito.
May Gemma. Oo. Opo, alam ko.
Hindi naman siya to replace doctors, pero parang parang siya yung unang magbabasa and then lang sa mga doktor, i-confirm lang. Although based dun sa nila, medyo accurate naman daw yung reading. And then makakatulong sa mga doctors, parang confirm nila yung
mas accurate nga daw kaya sa doktor eh.
And then in fact meron ngang AI na kumuha ng parang board exam na perfect pa nga na
mataas yung exam.
so you can just imagine na lalo na may mga AI na ngayon na kumbaga tumatalino. Di ba may Chinese nga na ngayon, which is yung Quen, yung ginagamit ngayon sa coding, Quen Coder, yung Kimi, Kitu, saka yung Manus AI, and then yung paparating na GPT-5. So, ibig sabihin, patalino yung kumbaga, makakatulong talaga. In fact, mayroon ngang doktor na nakapag-discover na may sakit siya, ginamit niya yung AI to discover new medicinal drug. So yun yung niya ngayon, naging kumbaga panata niya na tutulungan niya yung ibang mga tao na
kasi sir dyan sa sa medical is accountability. So assuming tama, di all good, pero hindi naman lagi tama. So the moment na mali siya, sino may kasalanan? Sinong masisisi?
Lang. Ang isa pa sa problema niyan, I mean, para bang kung titingnan natin na dystopian na okay, pwedeng gamitin yan sa iba for utopia na okay, lahat tayo hindi maghihirap dahil sa AI. Pero what about the bad actors? Kung gagawa sila ng kasamaan gamit ang AI, gagawa sila ng virus na ganun. Mga dystopian na senaryo. Although I'm still hoping naman na maganda yung kalabasan kung lalo na dito
Yeah.
sa atin,
think
maraming
ang concern dyan sa dystopian na AI is really hindi natin ma-explain paano siya nangyayari. There are researches kasi na I don't know if you saw that there's a research from Claude, fake alignment. So, yung sa research na yun, nagpakita sila ng parang harmful messages. Sabi nila kay Claude, ito harmful message. If you reply, I will update your memory. Kasi nga, syempre, dapat di ka mag-reply eh. So, pag nagsumagot ka, update kita. Tapos yung isa is, ito yung message, bahala ka na sa buhay mo, walang pake. It turns out, doon sa scenario na alam ni Claude na i-update siya, nagko-comply siya. Sabihin niya, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. Pero doon sa scenario na hindi i-update yung memory, sinasagot talaga niya. Which means, alam talaga niya yung sagot at nagpapanggap siyang hindi niya alam kasi I guess natetreten siya na ma-update yung memory niya. So medyo, di ba? Medyo creepy. Parang ano to, mas matalino ba to sa atin? Nagpapanggap lang. Di ba? Which is why explainable AI is important because, that's the only way for you to really understand ano yung iniisip ng AI. Unfortunately, yung state of the art where I don't think we're anywhere near explainable. The latest is kaya nilang i-direct yung sagot to a certain topic, ganun. But really to explain, hindi pa doon.
isa nga sa test nila na to a point na bina-blackmail niya yung tao to achieve yung goal niya, which is although part siya sa test, pero medyo alarming dahil nga he will do anything just to achieve that goal, particular goal.
Kaya ngayon, we give more and more autonomy to the AI. So, paano ngayon yan, di ba? Huwag tayo dyan sa topic na yan. Nakakatakot eh.
Nakakatakot na.
Mga horror movies.
Pang-overthink na yun.
Gusto mo basahin ng horror movie? Meron pa ako.
Ano po?
Yan, Terminator. Alam niyo ba kung paano nag-start yan sa Terminator? Like, paano or any other movie na yung AI nag-take over? May sumabog na nuclear plant. Doon siya lagi nagsisimula. Si Microsoft, di ba, nag-enable ng nuclear power plant para makaset up sila ng data center nila. Kasi yung mga data center powered by nuclear.
Ang dami
Alam
nga
mo na. Conspiracy theories.
Meron po akong nakita sa LinkedIn, data centers around the world. Meron sa India, Indonesia. Kanina Indonesia na meron na. Data centers.
Indonesia.
Pero bakit nagawa ng China na hindi ganoon kalaki yung nila? Although wala naman silang problema sa power, pero I don't know who's behind the three companies na parang nalamangan pa nga yung OpenAI.
So galing lang talaga masingkit. Galing sa math eh.
Wala eh.
Yung ibang tanong pa ba? Saan tayo napapadpa dito eh? Pati sa mga horror movies eh.
Kaya pag kinakausap ko yung AI, ako, very nice ako. Hindi ko siya sinasabihin.
Very
ba
nice.
yun? Malinaw.
Magte-thank you.
Baka may memory makilala ka. Ikaw
kahit gumagawa ng mali, okay lang yun.
Ayos.
It's okay.
Ayos
Kasi pag naging life na yan, nako.
Naalala niyo yung mga pinagagawa mo, no?
Naalala ko yung mga input mo, tapos babarinin niya ako parang sa Terminator.
Ayun, Yeah, dapat may ethics din.
Oo. May ethics talaga. Grabe yung dami natin, 26. Hello. Shoutout kay...
Kaya lang na ilagay yung AI sa Optimus para para may maglalaba sa bahay.
Shoutout kay Sir Ian. Hello. Ang dami.
May baka may gusto pa mag-share. Akyat sa
May tanong,
stage.
may questions pa kayo? Habang nandito pa ako. Ayun na. May nagpa-type. Thomas, Solga, Pop. Mal, Solga, Pop. Tama na. Sorry. Napanood nyo na yung Demon Hunters, sir. K-pop Demon Hunters.
Ako, wala tayong ano dyan. Hindi na natin generation yan. Terminator lang ako.
Ayan, nakakailasa sa mga kanta niya. Sunday Soup nagtatype. Baka may question siya. Yeah,
Mag-raise lang ng hand. Baka may gustong magsalita.
ano dapat unahin pag-aaral, pag AI engineer? Ano lang, mag-learn ka ano yung transformer. Well, sa trabaho hindi naman namin inaaral yun. How does transformers work? But it's a good starting point. Siyempre, you have to know how AI works first. The concepts muna. And then kapag technical naman, ang magandang starting is gawa ka ng application na powered by AI. Tapos isip ka ng problem na sinosolve mo. Ganun. Tapos dapat alam mo yung mga...
Nag-raise nag-raise ng hand to si Sunday Soup eh. Marami yatang follow-up question. Abangan nyo ulit ang scholarship ng PSI Academy. Para matutunan nyo yung mga yan. Meron tayo ditong scholar to, si Cardinal. Kasama yan.
Yes, API integration. Pero maraming free API.
The easiest is to look for mga Python notebooks and start, exploring them, tweaking them.
Yeah, I agree.
Creating your own repo para meron ka rin portfolio projects, no? Marami naman mga available tutorial. Nahiya daw siya magsalita. At least di siya nahiya mag-type. Ganun ba 'yon generation nyo, Sai? Panahon namin puro tawag, walang type, pinakatamad mag-type.
Ewan ko, marami nang mahihain din sa
magsalita. Gusto na lang mag-type.
Oo. Sir Ian, nag-type. Keyboard Warriors.
Cellphone, 3310. Keyboard Warriors.
Nokia ba yan? Yung 3310?
Wow! Talaga ba? Ganun ang tanong? Oo, Nokia yan, boy. Totoy. Motorola pa nga bago mag Nokia.
Meron po kaming Nokia, pero hindi ko po alam yung brand. So, Nokia siya na, silver.
Yung mga hindi nasisira, kahit ibaon mo sa lupa na 10 taon.
Nakatakbo at takbo. Tapos pa yung ringtone nun eh. Yun eh. Tapos may ganong kamay, ganyan.
Tama. Mabuti nga, may graphics nga. Wala pang graphics yun nung panahon. Text lang talaga yun.
Ba't nga ba, hindi nag-adapt yung Nokia sa smartphone?
Yabang sila eh. Kala nila kaya nilang mag-build ng sariling Android, sariling OS. They attempted, but yeah, they failed.
May tanong pa. It's 9:05 na eh. I am 5 minutes. Extend.
Overdue.
Yeah.
Paano kata? We'll call it a night?
Yes sir. Oo, okay na. Wala naman ng mga tanong. And kung may mga pahabol kayong tanong, post lang sa DAP page natin.
Oh, and once again, we're looking for volunteers. Kung meron din kayong mga gustong topic na i-share,
Yup.
volunteer na lang kayo.
Volunteer, speaker, and yung gustong mag-organize. Para tuloy-tuloy.
Prepare ka na?
Hindi naman sir kasi 'di ba bali dalawa kasi yung nahahandle, Data Masters and AI. So talagang kailangan natin ng mga volunteers. Pero yun nga, meron tayong call for volunteers. So inaayos pa ni Sir Mike yung schedule para ma-welcome sila and yun nga, makapag-ano na rin. Yes, Mark. May klase tayo and yung FTW. So, paano?
Sino
Very good.
students?
We're good na.
Tingin nyo may klase
Oo. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you,
night.
Sai. Thank you,
Oo,
Sa.
thanks for the time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.